thanks for dropping in. My name is Michelle Maratti and I work for Boulder County Parks and Open Space. I'm here at Cattail Pond today, and Cattail Pond is located at the Boulder County Fairgrounds in Longmont. Cattail Pond is a kids-only fishing pond. You have to be 15 or under to come fishing here. You can use live or artificial bait, and you'll typically catch bluegills, catfish, or bass. Both largemouth and smallmouth bass have been caught here. If you're not catching any fish, it might be because of the osprey nest that is also out here. So if you look across the pond, you can see where the osprey nest is located. Osprey are also anglers, so sometimes they're called the fish hawk. So if you aren't catching any fish, it might be because the osprey caught your fish for you. If you're interested, you can also watch the osprey on a live feed of the video. We have a live feed of the Boulder County osprey. If you're gonna go fishing here, you need to have the right supplies. So let's go over and see what supplies we need to bring with us. Well, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty hot day today, so I made sure to bring sunscreen, water, and snacks with me, but that's not gonna help me catch any fish. So I also brought all of my fishing supplies. So down here is my tackle box where I have lots of bait. I have both real worms and also artificial worms. And then I've also got my pliers here, which are gonna help me put together my fishing pole and sometimes take a fish off of a hook. I also have my fishing pole here, and this is what's gonna get the fish from there out here. So I've got my reel and my rod, and then at the end of the fishing pole I've got my bobber here, which is going to tell me when I've caught a fish, and it's also going to keep my hook from sinking all the way to the bottom of the pond. And on the end here I have my hook, which already has a nice juicy worm on the end here. The hook is pretty sharp, so you might want to ask a parent to help you put the worm on the hook. And then over here at this end, on my reel, I've got the button that you push to release the line, and I've got the crank here, which is what you're going to use to reel in the fishing line once you catch that fish. So next I'm going to show you how to cast. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to cast. So remember that when you push this button down and release it, then the line goes out. But I don't want to catch a fish right there. I want to catch the fish that are way out there. So I'm going to crank this in and talk you through how to cast. So when you're going to cast, the most important thing is to make sure that there's nobody behind you that you could hook. We only want to hook fish. So the first thing you want to do is look behind you and turn with your pole and see if you're going to hit anything with your pole when you cast. So it looks like I'm good. I'm not gonna hit any of my friends or my little brother. And so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn back towards the water. I'm gonna push and hold the button. If you let go, remember the line goes out. So push and hold the button, and then I'm going to take the rod and I'm gonna flick it over my head. And when it's about halfway down the horizon, I'm gonna let go of that button and let the line go out. So here I go. Oh, it went out. It looks like I released a little bit early. I could have released a little later and got the line out further. Now, do I want to reel it all the way in really fast? No. Instead, now is a time where I maybe want to relax, have a snack, put on more sunscreen, and watch that bobber out there and see if any fish are going to take the bait. When you catch your fish, if you're doing catch and release, you want to make sure you know how to keep the fish out of the water for as little time as possible. So, you want to make sure you know how to hold the type of fish that you catch. At Cattail Pond, on this poster, you can see some of the fish that you might catch here. If you're fishing somewhere else, you want to look up what types of fish there are at that location so you can know how to hold those types of fish. Now, looking at this poster, although you won't catch trout because that's a cold water fish, you might catch a bass. And the easiest way to hold a bass is to put your thumb inside their mouth. They don't have any teeth, and that way they won't wiggle as much and it's a lot easier to take out the hook. Another fish you might catch is a catfish. You want to be very careful when you're holding a catfish because they do have sharp spines on the fins here and here. So you want to make sure you hold them further back on their body so that they can't poke you with those spines. And then lastly, you might catch a sunfish. Sunfish are smaller, so they're a little bit easier to hold, but they do have some pokey spines on their dorsal fin here. So the easiest thing to do is pet the fish and fold down those spines in order to remove the hook. For all of these fish, the easiest way to remove the hook is simply to twist it upside down so that it comes out. I had a great time fishing today, so now I'm going to clean up and make sure everything looks nice for the next person who wants to go fishing here, which could be you. I hope you learned about fishing today and are excited to come out fishing at Kids Only Cattail Pond.